Hi there, and welcome back to Founders Journal. My name is Toby, and I'm the founder of ENTIFY. And today I really want to explain this to you properly. You see, there's two things here. One, what is ENTIFY? What is it? And then two, what can we do with it? It's another question. What do we do with it? Now, both of these things are so big, they're so groundbreaking, earth-shattering, that it is hard to believe. And this is the problem I've had for years, trying to explain this clearly enough so that people can understand it. So let me try again. What is ENTIFY? If I boil it down, all the technology, what is it? What is the foundation of ENTIFY? Well, it is a blockchain. But not a blockchain like we have seen before. Nothing like what we have seen before. This is a completely new category of blockchain. So ENTIFY is a proofless Meshnet blockchain. Never been seen before. And this is quite incredible because this solves all of the problems that blockchain has. You see, we've got thousands of blockchains now. It all started with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was amazing. We all got excited. Maybe now we can have a new fair economy and perhaps a new civilization. But that promise never came true, and it's all just now turned into the stock market. The economy is the same. The world is still the same, if not even worse. So what happened? Well, blockchain has got this fundamental problem. It's called the blockchain trilemma. And now it means when a blockchain gets bigger and bigger and bigger, it requires more and more computational power. So there is no single blockchain in existence that could possibly carry the entire world's economy all by itself. It's impossible, because it would require too much computational power. So the only way a blockchain can get bigger is if you reduce its decentralization. You must centralize it. You know, like we've got now. One computer doing all the calculations. Yes, then we could do it. But that's not decentralized. That's not the promise of Bitcoin. Or you sacrifice security. You have to reduce the cryptography, the privacy in the blockchain. Well, now it's not safe. So this is a blockchain trilemma. You cannot have scalability, which means big, security, which means the cryptography, and decentralization, which means completely fair. You cannot have all three at once. Impossible. So that's why we haven't got the promise fulfilled until now. ENTIFY will be, we have to build it, but it can be done because we've got the technology to do it. ENTIFY will be the first and only blockchain to break the blockchain trilemma. We fixed it. ENTIFY will be infinitely scalable. It will be perfectly secure, and it will have 100% absolute decentralization. It's impossibly hard to believe. The blockchain experts out there, they won't believe this because they think they know blockchain. Yes, but remember, this is not blockchain as we have ever seen it before. It's a completely new category of technology. It's built in a new way from the ground up. It is a proofless Meshnet blockchain. Proofless means it requires no calculation for proof. See, Bitcoin has proof of work, and Ethereum has proof of stake. And these blockchains, all blockchains, have transaction fees. We have to create this artificial algorithm that creates value. It creates incentive. It creates trust. We need payment, and we need this complicated mathematics to create proof. Because how do we do it? The blockchain is only in the computer. We have to create this proof artificially, just like Bitcoin essentially is artificially creating gold. That's why they called it mining. It's like mining for gold. But you're not mining for gold. The computer is doing the mining. You give the computer a lot of work to do. Proof of work. Well, that's just a waste of time and energy. There is no work to do in ENTIFY. The blockchain is proofless. No calculations required to generate any proof. And there will be no transaction fees. ENTIFY does not require transaction fees. So that already minimizes computation. So how do we do it? How do we do it? I'm coming to that. Now, secondly, the other problem with all blockchain lives on the internet. So it doesn't matter how decentralized it is, it cannot be decentralized because it lives on the internet, and the internet is centralized servers. And even if you can partially decentralize it, like we've got miners, Bitcoin miners over here, Bitcoin over there, miners, but you have these huge mining stations, servers, they're still centralized, so they cannot be perfectly decentralized. ENTIFY, again, will be the first and only blockchain to live outside the internet. It's not on the internet. So where is it? It lives on a radio mesh network. It has its own communication layer, a radio mesh. It lives between all the devices. And this is only possible because the blockchain must be so small, so lightweight, minimum computations. It's so small that the blockchain, ENTIFY, can live on a smartphone. So again, this makes it unique. New technology. ENTIFY does not live on the internet. It lives on its own hardware. It lives on its own special cryptographic radio mesh smartphone. And this we are calling the ENTIPhone. So it's not only software, it's hardware. So that again makes it unique. That's still not enough to explain how it works. You see, okay, first of all, because we're on a radio mesh, you have to understand a radio mesh. Every phone is both a broadcaster and a receiver. They all connect together, and in a radio mesh we can triangulate. Every node knows where the other one is. There's distance between them, and that can all be calculated, recorded, registered. So every node, every smartphone has a unique location identified by the Meshnet. That is the basis of the consensus for the blockchain. The blockchain does not require any algorithmic consensus. It does not require proof of work, proof of stake. And now we've got maybe 50, 100 different proof ofs in blockchain. Doesn't need any of them. The proof comes from physics. The Meshnet location provides the consensus. There's one node over here. There's one node over there. There is only one. One here, one there. That's it. That is the basis of the consensus. No calculation required, only physics. Now it still requires a bit more. Which I'm coming to. But you can already see how amazingly different this is. What this technology it is. Proofless Meshnet blockchain. Now we still need a bit more to create real proof, real trust. You see, in a blockchain we are all users. We use it. But how do we know who we are? Now what I've said here with the radio mesh, we can prove one user has one smartphone and is in one location. So that is already a massive proof. But we still need to prove that user is a real living person, a living man or woman. They must be real. So we can have no artificial accounts, no artificial users, no fake accounts. How do we do that? Okay, this is where the next level of the technology comes in. Let me go back a step. The foundational technology to build this blockchain comes from BChat networks. And BChat networks, which is Nicholas, has developed two things. One is the chaotic router. So this is the foundation for the radio mesh. And two, he has developed a cryptographic hardware system. And this he calls the Ethereum tag. Now, the Ethereum tag is a tiny little microchip. And this little microchip can be fixed to any object, or we can put it inside a credit card. And this microchip is called an NFC chip. So literally it becomes a credit card, contactless payment. So the only way you can activate this chip is by touch. Like your credit card, you must touch the credit card to a device to activate it. Now this Ethereum tag is a key. It is literally a key card. So we as the users can hold this key card. And this key card, the cryptography is so good, this key card can allow you access to the blockchain. So now when you have a combination of your own cryptographic smartphone, the ENTIFY, and you have this key card based on the Ethereum tag, which we are calling the ENTI card, now only a real physical living user can take a card and touch it to the phone. Someone has to do that. So now when you have a card and a phone, these two devices, two separate devices, only a living being can touch one to the other. And only a living being can access the blockchain through the card. It means now all blockchains have a private key. And you have to type the private key, essentially type it into the computer. So the private key is accessed again through the computer. That's why it's still hackable. Your private key is still on a computer somewhere. If someone hacks your computer, finds your private key, then they can hack your blockchain wallet. We've taken all that away. Now your private key to the blockchain is not on the computer. It is never on the computer. Your private key only lives on this card, which is offline. And only you, a real living user, can hold the card, touch it to your phone to get into the blockchain. So now this combination, dual hardware and software, the ENTIFY and the ENTI card, these become the only way to access this proofless Meshnet blockchain. And the ENTI card gives you the final layer of trust that is needed for the proofless consensus. So, put very simply, two breakthrough technologies. The chaotic router and the Ethereum tag, developed by BChat. Put those two things together, now we can build ENTIFY. So ENTIFY is my plan to use this technology together to build this proofless Meshnet blockchain, running on a radio mesh using this cryptographic hardware. So that's what it is. But what do we do with it? That's the next thing. What do we do with it? This blockchain is so powerful. This cryptography is so powerful. This can provide perfect, and I mean perfect, authentication. See, once you've got this card, it can authenticate that you are alive. But what do you put onto this card? See, if I am a user, I hold this card, yes, but what do I put onto it? I must put my identity onto it. So that's a whole big question. But if I put my identity onto this card, Now, not only am I a proven living man or woman, I can touch the card, but on the card itself, I have proven documentation of my identity. I become a valid user. I am truly alive and I am truly valid. Now, a truly valid user is quite a complicated thing. That involves legal and law. So, straight away we can put our KYC onto this keycard. That is our valid identity. That is known. Your name and address. All right? But remember, it's a private offline keycard. Only you have access to it. This is called zero knowledge KYC. Furthermore, we can also put more than just that. We can create a new valid identity that requires an in-depth understanding of law. And that's another discussion. But if we can do this, we can create more than just an identity. We can create what is called a sovereign identity. This is the most powerful identity in law, and it unlocks a lot of things. It gives you a lot of authority. Again, another discussion. But it means now we have an unbreakable, provable trust as the basis to build this proofless Meshnet blockchain. And once we have got trusted users and we have got trusted objects, we can use the same tag to attach to anything: a car, a house, a computer. We can now prove that other object is real, and we can prove that I am real, and now we can prove that yes, that object belongs to me. We have blockchain verified proof of ownership. That's the beginning of an entirely new economy. And it's something that no blockchain has ever done before. No blockchain has ever had the ability to validate, authenticate directly real physical objects and real living users. They cannot do it. Only because we have got the Ethereum tag can we do this. So quite literally, put it this way, this Ethereum tag allows us to create a physical NFT. It is a key card that connects an object, a user, to the blockchain as an NFT, a unique digital item inside the blockchain. But now we have a one-to-one cryptographic connection from an object to the NFT. And that cryptography is so good, the physical object or the physical user might as well be the NFT. So quite literally, ENTIFY Proofless Meshnet blockchain is the first and only blockchain to have physical NFTs. Completely new concept. Now, there are other people talking about this, trying to do this. So I cannot say we are unique in this concept, but the cryptography we have is by far the most complete, the most powerful cryptography. So only we can say this. For this to be true, for an NFT to be the same as a physical object, the cryptography that links them must be perfectly unbreakable. Otherwise, we cannot say it's true. And only ENTIFY, the Ethereum tag technology, is unbreakable cryptography. Quite literally unhackable, unspoofable. You cannot duplicate it. It is also immune to relay and replay attacks. There is no way of intercepting the signal. And the cryptography is called post-quantum evolving key cryptography. Again, a whole other discussion to explain that. But just take it for now. Only ENTIFY can say this. That is why ENTIFY will be the first and only proofless Meshnet blockchain. Now on this we can build a 100% decentralized new economy. And we will put one token. There will be only one token on this one economy. Again, it's going back to Bitcoin. What did you have on Bitcoin? Well, there was only Bitcoin. One thing. So in ENTIFY, there will be only one thing. One crypto, one token. It will be the ENT token. But what is that token? That token is not cryptocurrency. No, that token is a token of validation, a token of authentication. For example, this crystal, I could tag this crystal, connect it to the blockchain and verify that I own it. But this crystal would have a certain value. So this value of this crystal, I could liquidate into ENT token. But only I could do this because only I own the crystal and only I have valid proof that this crystal exists. So I could create ENT token on the base of this asset, but the ENT token only lives inside the ENTIFY blockchain. It cannot leave. The ENTIFY blockchain is a closed loop system. The users and the assets are only on this network. You cannot take them off. And because of this, the ENT token validates them. We can have a system of economy because the ENT token, the asset and the user are all linked together in one closed loop system. Again, it's a whole big discussion to explain the full details of this economy, but that economy is called ENT tokenomics. And let's go back to something simple. Because we've got this, we can do so many things. We have a proven identity, and we can use this proven identity to interact with the world, interact with the internet, and remain private, anonymous. We could have private banking, and I mean completely anonymous banking with the banking system, the external economy. We of course would have our own internal private banking with the ENT token, but we can integrate now with the internet with absolute safety. Once we have ENTIFY, cybersecurity problems will become a thing of the past. There will be no way to steal your identity, no way to hack your account. Literally impossible. Your security is offline, protected by the ENTIFY blockchain. But when you have this protection, you can interact with the external world with 100% guaranteed privacy and security. Now imagine what that means. It changes everything. But more than that, we can rebuild the internet. We can rebuild an entire technological infrastructure of the world, step by step. This security also allows us to have things like unstealable cars, unstealable bikes, unstealable, unbreakable phones. The ENTIphone will be an unstealable phone. There's no way to get into it. If anyone steals it, it's like a brick. It's useless to them. Only the card holder, the living user, is themselves an NFT. Only that NFT of the user can access the NFT of the phone. There's no way to duplicate the user. There's no way to get into the phone. It applies to everything. We can have unhackable computers. See, at the moment, once you have the ENTIFY network, you can use your computer, but your computer is still hackable, but at least they cannot hack your identity. However, once we build ENTIFY computers, the computer itself will be an unhackable device. It's such a big deal. It's such a big deal. It's so hard to believe. But I hope I've given an introduction to this. It's such an incredible thing that I'm working on the website step by step, day by day. I've been doing it for years, trying to explain this. But I hope I've made this clear. There are two things. One, what is ENTIFY? ENTIFY is this new category of technology, a brand new type of blockchain we have never seen before. And then what do we do with it? There are so many things we could do, and those things are impossible now. They are impossible. But with ENTIFY, they become possible. We literally could build a new world on ENTIFY. Hard to believe, but possible. So, step by step, I'm going to explain it. Please check out the website. Please do look at the other videos on this channel. And I'm going to keep on explaining this step by step. So stay tuned for the next episode of Founders Journal.
We are the network. We are the key. We are the tribe.